They were two families, both suffering under two completely different circumstances.
But tragedy for one led to the gift of life for another, and now both have an unbreakable bond. Sean Fazan reports in Heart of a Champion.
Meet Jamie Napolitano, a 40-year-old mother of two, teacher at Southeastern, and marathon runner in the best shape of her life. But it took a heartbreaking tragedy to put her on this path.
In my sophomore year in college, I had a heart attack when I was 19.
Jamie battled heart disease for most of her life, and as she got into her 30s, the problem became unbearable.
I just could barely breathe picking up my kids. I'd try to vacuum and then I'd have to sleep for the rest of the day. And that was not normal for me. And it turned out that my symptoms were getting worse and worse, and there was nothing left to be done but to have a heart transplant.
Her doctors put her on a list, and she waited, hoping for a match.
I didn't know how long I was going to have to wait. I kept my phone by me all the time, but not being in the hospital put me lower on the list.
Meanwhile, over 500 miles away, just outside of Austin, Texas, another family was dealing with their own sickness.
He left us a note.
This is Royal and Janice Burleson, a married couple of 35 years with two sons. Their youngest, Cameron, who on the surface had the all-American childhood, excelled in school, played football, and he ran track for Pflugerville High School. But on the inside, Cameron battled a demon.
He said, well, I'm hearing voices. I said, what kind of voices? He said, voices is talking to me. I said, oh, yeah? He says, yeah. I said, what are they telling you to? He said, they're telling me to hurt myself.
Paranoid schizophrenia was the official medical diagnosis. His parents got him help and medication. They said sometimes it worked, but other times it didn't. Eventually, it became too much for him to bear, and Cameron took his own life.
I couldn't hear anything. It was like a bomb had went off. This can't be happening.
But as the Burleson family sat there in tragedy, they made one selfless decision.
From there, that we went to the hospital, and the doctors said there was no brain activity. And we knew that's when they asked, would you want to donate? And right away I said yes. I didn't take 2 seconds to think about it.
Little did they know, that decision saved another life. Back in Louisiana, after only 2 weeks on the waiting list, the Burleson's tragedy was Jamie's lifeline.
They came in and told me that they thought they had a heart for me. And it's just overwhelming. Time stops whenever they say that.
And on January 1st, 2009, Cameron's heart beat again, but inside Jamie's body. The decision to donate was an easy one for the Burlesons, but coming into contact with the life it impacted took time.
But she responded saying thank you. It was like him coming back saying, I'm here. It took us 4 years after the date that she got that heart. That was January 1st, 2009. It took us 4 years to get in touch with her. And why? We weren't ready.
I was at the hospital for just, my routine tests and checkup, and they had a package for me, and it was a letter from my donor's mom.
Multiple letters followed until eventually it was time to meet face to face at the transplant games in 2014 in Houston, and it was everything they thought it would be.
I'm just overwhelmed and so happy to finally meet her and to hear his heartbeat. That was a moment I'll never forget. I'll treasure it always.
Cameron's heart has taken Jamie to new heights. The girl who was too sick and not allowed to play sports growing up is now a bona fide athlete. She competes regularly in marathons and works out on a daily basis. And in those transplant games, she won 2 gold medals, a silver and a bronze. And every time she competes, she does it not just for her, but for the person who made it possible.
You feel a great responsibility to want to take care of the heart and to live life so that, you know, that they'll be glad that they made that decision.
It's a unique situation to be in. One family's tragic loss led to another's second chance at life. It's a feeling not lost on either side.
It's hard as a parent, you know, just even imagining yourself in that situation for just a second. But it has been redeeming for all of us.
It's a perfect match. That's the only thing I can say. It's like it was perfect. The timing, when she was almost depleting on her deathbed and he was, everything when we look back, it's just a perfect match.
And that bond between both families, like the new heart inside of Jamie's body, is stronger than ever.
They, since that time, have been so gracious and, you know, accepted me into their arms and their family, and they consider me as part of their family, and it's really been a blessing that we've been able to share that.
We look at her as we're family. She is like blood. It's like family. There's nothing we wouldn't do or how far we would go for her.
See, I have a chance to. Each time I break down like this, Jamie will call us. She'll text Jamie. And it's like he's answering.
Jamie is competing for the 2016 Transplant Games in Ohio next month. Royal and Janice will be there cheering her on. The need for organ donors, tremendous. There's 120,000 people currently on a waiting list, many for years at a time, hoping to receive a life-saving organ.